You've seen the Boba Fett hoodies that look like a full upper body cosplay of the iconic bounty hunter. You've seen the hoodies with the man's face plastered all over them. You've seen the DIY hoodies with the iron-on patches. But have you seen something in the in-between? Have you seen something more subtle than the cosplay-esque hoodies, but that's still unforgivably Boba Fett? This is my DIY Boba Fett hoodie, but it's way cooler. First, I drew him because I need Boba Fett in my sketchbook. Then I drew the hoodie because I need a plan. The plan is to use a 10-year-old box of leather scraps I've never touched to represent the negative space of his armor. Seeing that his armor is the green part and the underneath is the whitish part, I'm gonna need to swap it because my hoodie is green. So that means instead of me attaching armor elements to the hoodie, I'm gonna be working with the negative space around the armor plates. Negative space is a drawing term that refers to the space around the object of interest. So if you have an object on the table, that object is the positive space, and the air that is around it is the negative space. Basically, what that means is, since the armor is positive, the gaps in the armor are negative, I'm going to be working with this interesting shape right here. Here's the hoodie in question. Here are the leather pieces. Here's me trying to cut them. They are surprisingly slippery and meaty. Here's me hammering thousands of little holes in the backyard before 8 o'clock in the morning and probably irritating the snot out of all my neighbors. Sorry, neighbors. Here's me stitching and stitching and stitching, and yeah, I did attempt to attach my finger to this project at some point, but in the end, I thought it might ruin the aesthetic. If you want to do a project similar to this, don't get intimidated by the leather. I have no clue what I'm doing either, so I guess my cluelessness has made me fearless. In retrospect, you could probably use canvas or denim or maybe even a more sporty material like ripstop. Here's me putting together the Mythosaur decal and the Jaster Muriel, that's how you pronounce it, right? Sigil. It doesn't it look like something from a baseball jersey? And without further ado, cue the music and enjoy the project. So the placement of these two pieces is going to be right up here at the top of the sweatshirt. Now that we've placed them, we've got to pin them. So here's our first stitch. That looks great. So it's at this point that two clips have been removed because basically two edges have been fastened down with stitching. And you just want to make sure that as we go, you want to brush the air bubbles out from under the leather. Otherwise, you'll be sewing and then suddenly you'll realize that there's just going to be an air pocket in there because you sewed it all in and the leather has warped. Thanks for watching to the end. I love how the leather and the decals pulled together into an unforgivably Boba Fett hoodie. If you're a Star Wars nerd looking for more subtle products to add to your collection, check out this Grand Army Trooper backpack review. If you like custom apparel, I do too. Check out this Iron Man tee. Bye!